Hey everybody, it's Joanne Rogers here from Design with Joe. I hope you're having a good evening. It is raining here in central Alberta again. Excuse me, but it is time for our Facebook Live and our live crafting class. So interactive crafting with you, and I need your input in picking colors and placement and things like that. So I asked you in a poll, oh, not that long ago, but I asked you on Facebook what you wanted me to craft with first, and the DSP that you all chose was the Let It Snow. And so that's what we're going to work with tonight. So this is a really quick way to see all 12 of the designs. And so we have designs that you can punch out here. This one you can't really see too well as this is where we had the little hats from the card from the open house. And then these all have glitter on them. So these guys all have glitter. And then there's some fun patterns as well. This one's really quite cute. We had that on that card as well. So this is really cool paper, and it's got basic black. There's some blueberry bushel in here, which is this blue, in case you thought it was Night of Navy. There's real red, Coastal Cabana, and then for something just a little bit different, we have some Flirty Flamingo in there. So that's a really unusual one. And then we have Shaded Spruce. So there's lots of fun colors in there. And so that's our first task that we have to do. So get your fingers onto your keyboards or your phones or your iPads, and you need to decide what color we are going to have for our card base. So I have 3 here to choose from. And while you're deciding that, it's either going to be Whisper White, Coastal Cabana, or Real Red. So let me know which one you think is going to be the one that is going to be best for this card. So the Snowman Season stamp set is made for a couple different reasons, but one is this guy here you can punch out. So you can punch out the snowman. There's a snowman builder punch with this bundle. He's got his little stick arms and then a hat. But these guys here are just really cute little guys. This is the one we're going to use tonight because this is my all-time favorite one. This little, I don't know, and it's a guy, it's not a gal. And he looks like, what does he look like to you? Does he look like he has marshmallows for legs? I think maybe, eh? Okay, so it looks like we have some real red showing up here. Oh, we had Coastal Cabana. So let me see if I can scroll up in my 1, 2, 3 real reds, 2 Coastal Cabanas. Let me see. I don't even know if I can scroll up. Huh, I wasn't catching those as they were going. So Coastal Cabana, huh, real red. Okay, you know what? I think we're going to go with Coastal Cabana. Just because I can't get any higher, and it looks to me like maybe Coastal Cabana was the first one. So we're going to go Coastal Cabana and leave the real red. Next choice then is, so we have, I've chosen these 3 papers. So this one has a Coastal Cabana stripe on it, or the trees. This one, definitely Coastal Cabana stripe, or mitts, real red stripe, or the glittery snowman. A lot of this is going to get hidden, so just I know it seems a shame that we covered these guys up, but which one do we want to use? So how about the first person to pick and tell me what you want to use? Are we going stripes, and if we are, what color? Or are we going designs, and if we are, which design? Now, I'm going to try and clean as I go tonight. So trees. Jennifer says trees. Okay, looks like maybe it will be trees. That's a different one. That's good. Okay, that's good. I like that. Now you have one final choice, and then we'll get going. So which of these colors do you want to be the panel that goes on top of the trees? We can do real red. We can do Whisper White. And let's have somebody else maybe this time. Leanne, sorry, I know you wanted Snowman. Maybe you can pick the color. Coastal Cabana, or do we want Flirty Flamingo? So there's your 4 choices. Which one do we want? And let's have somebody else. green striped snowman trees, real red. Pat, was that real red here? Okay, thank you very much for going real red on top. Now I tricked you because we're not actually going to be using the circle. We are going to be using this piece of real red. So what I did is I ran a piece of real red through this embossing folder, and this is one of the new embossing folders, and I've lost the name. I do have one of those little dymos. I'm going to put names on everything. Great, Pat. I'm glad we got the red. So who has their catalog in front of them and can name this for me? Jennifer, you're usually pretty good. It is like a Nordic sweater. I don't know if you can really see it through there, but I ran my real red through and then I cut out my circle. But I'm definitely not going to throw these away because these are perfect for something else. So let's leave those for later. I'm going to put the other colors and keep the red. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to stamp first. So let me just put this stuff off to the side and let me pull in our stamps. So because these are photopolymer, I'm going to be stamping on top of our Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm using thick Whisper White because we're going to be using our blends with these. So I got my thick Whisper White and I have my Memento stamp pad. So I'm just going to ink him up. He's not a big one. Usually when I have larger ones, I will turn my stamp over and I'll stamp, but he's not super big. So I'm just going to plunk him down in the middle, make sure I get a pretty good impression with him. And that's all we're going to use the black for right now anyway. And then I'm going to just give that a moment and I'm going to let it dry. Now we need some, oh, we do have another choice. What color do we want our snowflakes to be? So our snowflakes are going to go onto a piece here, and then we are going to do either red or black words. So do we want Coastal Cabana snowflakes or do we want real red snowflakes? Coastal Cabana snowflakes. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just going to stamp these randomly all over. And I could actually, you know what I'm going to do? I want them lighter, so I'm going to stamp off first and then stamp. Stamp off and then stamp. And I'm just going to move my stamp around a little bit so I get a variation on where my snowflakes are. And we're not going to use this whole sheet anyway, but I do want to get it all inked up. So I just want, that was just a little bit too light for our words to show through. So what color would we like our words to be? They are the Let It Snow. So over top of here, I think we could go base, we don't have basic black anymore. I think we could go Memento Tuxedo Black or we could go real red. So I'm going to pull in my blends, and what I have here, I've got, what colors do I have? I have dark pumpkin pie. I have a light flirty flamingo. I have light basic black, and I have light pool party because we're going to give, thank you Leanne, we are going to have red letters, red words. What we're going to do here is we're just going to give a little bit of color to our snowman. So the color that we are going to start with is I'm going to put just my black and I'm going to color his buttons here. And so I use the thick because when we use our Stampin' Blends, if you have just your thin paper, your regular Whisper White, it's going to go through. So I'm going to color his nose next. And I'm using, because this is a fairly small image, I'm using the bullet tip end. And I'm just going to color right. I'm not worried, because it's such a small image, I'm not worried about doing my blending and having light and dark. And now I'm going to go in with my pool party, my light pool party, and just where there's shadow. So where I think there's going to be shadow on him, so on his feet and on the side and maybe on the bottom. And right there, we know that there is already going to be some, because there's lines for us. And how about down here? We'll do some too. So it's just going to give a little bit, you know how snow has that sort of blue cast to it, at least before it gets all dirty. So now what I'm going to do, so I have, it's actually a little bit too, the lines there are just a little bit too harsh for me. And I know it's really hard to see because I'm using the light color. But I'm going to go in with my color lifter now. And if you haven't used your color lifter very much, it is a great uh, tool for removing color, certainly, but it's also great for taking your color and blending it. So I want to blend this out a little bit. So I'm just going to take my color lifter, go right over top of where I have pool party, and I'm just going to move it around a little bit. Now you have to be careful with this because if you do it too much over top of the memento, if it gets saturated, it will probably pick up a little bit of gray from the memento. So what it's doing right now, and I don't know if you can see that or not, is it's blending that blue out just a little bit. So it's giving him, just so he looks like he has a shadow. So we're not going to notice it too much, but it's going to be enough. Okay, so it's just getting a little bit, oh, and I didn't do these guys. I'll go back in. So I got Flirty Flamingo on his cheeks, right over top of the black. I'm going to go back in because I missed these guys here. Just going to pull that out. So I'm really just very lightly tapping. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there at all. I forgot these guys, all of them. So one thing with the color lifter, it's great at taking color and it will take your color away. But usually what you want to do is you want to lift color and then you want to take your color lifter and very lightly sort of drag it across a piece of scratch paper. And when you do that, it takes the color off the tip so that the next time you go use it, you won't have red touching something where you don't want to have any red. Okay, so he's just got a little tiny bit of color and that's all I want on him. We're going to do another treatment on top of him when we're done. So we had people choose red, so I'm going to pull my real red back in and we're doing the Let It Snow on top, and I'm just going to, what's great about these stamps, they don't have to be straight. They're not made to be straight at all. So there we go. We did have a black. We had real red and we had black, but I think real red was first, so Leanne was red. So sorry, Pat, no black for you. And I'm just going to leave that and then we're going to do something to it after. Okay, so let's put this together. We're done with our stamping. So, you know, I often get people ask me, which way should I fold my card? So this card is scored and the score line is indented here. I always fold away from that. And it's because when you indent your paper, what you're actually doing is you're pushing the fibers of the paper, you're compressing them a little bit, and you're giving them more room to go around a corner. So it has a little bit more room and you won't get any crunching at the top. You know how sometimes you get that crunching, the lines coming down? That won't happen if you fold away from where you indented. So just a little quick tip for you. So I'm going to put that down and then I'm going to put this guy right over top and I'm just going to use my snail. I'm all backwards today because my stuff is on the left hand side instead of the right hand side, which is a problem. So do we have any people watching from overseas today or from Australia where it's morning for them? I'm not quite straight, so I'm just going to firm it up. So there's another tip. If you ever get it straight and you've put it together in your cards like this where you have one side that's more than the other, just line up your edges together, hold it down here with one hand, and then pull your bone folder towards it. Okay, that will actually make it go a little bit better. So we're going to put our trees that Jennifer picked on top. Okay, there we go. Now what we're going to do is this guy's going to sit in the middle and this is going to sit right over top. And I'm going to move him up a little bit. No, I don't think so. I think he's going to stay right there. So I'm going to take my glue and my liquid glue, and you could just use your snail, but I find when I'm going around a circle, I like my liquid glue. So I'm just going to take my liquid glue. It doesn't look like it wants to come out of there. Let me try that. I was very busy today. I've got tons of things to do and I'm going on a vacation. I'm trying to go on a vacation and I'm trying to leave my computer behind. I think I was joking with somebody last night that I will probably be going through some separation anxiety, but I think I'm really going to try and have a complete vacation. So, whoops, I don't want to put that on quite yet because, oh yes I do. Oh, but I don't want to do that. I want to put this guy down first. So let's put him here. Let's put our glue right over top. Try and center that as much as I can. Okay, so there he is. Now the last thing I did is, and I've already cut some out, we have another choice, color choice. So we have to decide. So what I did is I created another little frame for around our circle. So we have to go and pick Coastal Cabana. You know what? And that's not quite straight. I'm going to lift that up. It's liquid glue, so it's probably already set. Maybe it's not set. I'm going to try and pull it up just a bit. I think I'm a little bit too late. Oh well, just a little bit off. So we have Coastal Cabana, we have Flirty Flamingo, we have Real Red, and we have Basic Black. Oh, I need one more and we could have had the Olympic rings. What color do we want? What one do we want around there? And I'm going to tell you how I make these. So because these are just our layering circles. They used to be called framelets. They're now called dies. And what I do first is I cut out the inside. You cannot, when you have ones that are really close together in size like this, it's really, really difficult to cut them out together. And I don't recommend doing it. So what I do is I cut out one where I want it to be. And when I'm cutting out a circle, sometimes I will cut it right in the middle because I can then use this piece of paper as a mask. So I could use this as another card right here, or for another card. So that's what I do. So I do that first, and then I come in and I place my scallop right over top. Now when you do this, there's a little line, there's a little indent that your die cutting machine will make from the first one. Try and line your scallops up with that line, and when you're happy with it, put your washi tape. If you don't put your washi tape in place, what you could end up with is something like this. And I'm hoping that you can see that I have a much bigger frame here than I have down here. I was in a rush and I didn't put any washi tape. So it's good to put washi tape. So Judy picked Coastal Cabana. Donna picked, oh sorry, Barb picked Coastal Cabana. I think we're going to go with Barb. Barb was the first one. So Barb and Judy have it. Sorry, Donna, we'll get you on the next one. I obviously am going to have lots of extra rings left, am I not? So anyway, that's what you want to do. So you do have to run it through 2 times in order to get yourself a nice little frame like this. Okay, and then that's just going to go down on top. So, whoops, he's wanting to run away. Oh, look, I had something on the back of this one. Looked like I embossed white. What was I doing? I haven't got a clue. So I'm using liquid glue because I don't want it to go anywhere. And I could just dab, but I'm also wanting it to go fairly quickly. And when I'm using my liquid glue, I think I said this last time, I am not pressing very hard because I know sometimes it'll come out all in a gush. I don't like that to happen. So now it should fit right over top because it's exactly the same size as the one in our red. Okay, so I'm just going to place that down, hold it in place. Okay, so there he is. Now we're going to put our banner down at the bottom. Now what do we want? Do we want that to go across? I don't think so. I'm going to make the decision on that one. So I'm going to cut this off, and I am going to cut it with my paper snips. I'm not going to even put it into my trimmer, believe it or not. I'm going to turn this into a banner. So the easiest way to turn it into a banner if you don't have your banner triple punch with you is to right in the middle, find the center and make a little mark with your scissors, a little cut with your scissors, and then I'm going to cut on a diagonal to where that cut ends. So I know you can't even see it, but I can barely see it. I'd love to get my head in there, but then you wouldn't be able to see it at all. There we go. And you sometimes have to pull it out a little bit, and then you get a little bit of hair, so I'll go in there with my nail and fix it. So I could do that, or I could do in the middle. We have one more little element, which I don't know what it'll look like on the red. It'll look there, look good there. So we have that in a bow. So this is the yarn. It's the curly ribbon. It is super soft. Like this would make great pony hair for a little girl. Not a little girl, a little girl's pony. I thought we could do this and stick this over top. But you know what? That just, I don't think that does it as, makes it look as nice. So I think we are going to do this, and we're going to use our bow over here. You guys okay with that? Anybody? Give me a thumbs up if you think that'll work. And I'm going to put these on dimensionals because I have to have something on dimensionals. Otherwise, I will feel a little lost. So I'm going to put my banner on with dimensionals. One thing about this ribbon is it is so soft and it does seem to shed. So it's like a dog. Of course, I'm not sure anybody has a dog that has red fur like this. Although, I suppose I have seen dogs with dyed hair. So you know how that's popular with kids, the pinks and the blues. So I'm going to take my bow, and I made this bow just by hand. Put it right on top of my glue dot, and then pick it up. And I'm going to put it down here, I think. But we're not done quite yet. There's one more thing that I want to do. So we also have this shimmery crystal effects. And this isn't part of this suite, but I thought it looked sort of cool here. So thanks, Denise, for the thumbs up. So how you use the crystal effects, it comes out really thick. So if you are used to our old crystal effects, this is thicker. And I'm going to try and hold at the same time and place it down. I'm just getting rid of any little flickers that are on there. And then you're just going to, I'm going to press. And so this, where I'm not pressing really hard with my white liquid glue, I'm pressing a little bit harder with this guy. And it comes out a little bit goopy, and I am going to put it all over our snowman, except his nose. And then you're going to set this aside and let it dry. And then you're going to want to touch it. I know you're going to want to touch it because that's our nature. We want to touch it and say, is it done yet? When you want to do that, stop yourself and then leave it another good 10 minutes or so. Because this is pretty goopy stuff. You can probably see it's taken me a while to get it on here. I'm trying to get it within the lines here. And I'm hoping that you can see, I'll move it around here in just a minute, but I'm hoping that you can see that there is glitter in it. So we have glitter in here where before we just had plain ordinary stuff. Anybody get any of that stuff yet? Or used it and played with it? I think it's actually quite fun, but it's dimensional. So when we are done, and I have a done one that I'm going to show you, and we're going to see how different it is with you guys picking. You can run your fingers over it, of course. So here you go. So what it's going to do, it's going to blur just a little tiny bit of that color, but not very much. Okay, so, and that's going to set up, and that's going to, oh, I have to put some on his, I didn't go right over top of the buttons. And I do want to do that because they need to be shiny too. So one thing you probably don't want to do is let it sit too much longer than that and then go back in and try and give yourself more. So here I'm going to show you the done one, the one that I did, and the one that needs to dry. So it's cool because we actually have a little bit of the reverse of what we ended up doing today. So let me know which one appeals to you a little bit more. So this guy here, you can see he's dry. Make sure I've got the right one. And it's shiny, it's smooth. You can maybe feel a little bit of the glitter in there, but he actually has some dimension, and I'm going to try and move it around to see if you can see. There, now I think you can see the light on that. It's really, really quite cool. And what kid, young at heart or young in age, wouldn't love to get a little snowman card like that? So, and then to finish it off, on this one, and I realized I didn't put these guys here. I just put some white and my Coastal Cabana inside, and I don't have it for here, but I will do that. So let me know, do you like the one that we did together with the real red, or do you like the one that the Coastal Cabana a little bit more? Now, I want to also let you know that I'm not going to be here for 2 weeks because I'm not actually back until the 25th. So I'm going to, glad you like them, Donna. I'm going to pull you back to me now. And so Judy likes the one we made tonight with the red, probably, Judy. Is it the red that you like most about it? We got both, but Barb thinks the Coastal Cabana pops a little bit more so that you can see it. Leanne likes Coastal. See, that's great. I always love that something appeals, some different color combination appeals to different people. So I'm done for tonight. We're done for tonight. So thank you very much for joining me. Keep an eye on my blog. I'm trying to I'm as fast as I can getting blog posts written so that they will be posting for you. I also have a new creativity kit class coming out. I don't want to show it to you tonight because I'm not prepared yet to take any registrations for it online, but it's the Feels Like Frost. And with it, you would get the Feels Like Frost dies, the stamp set, and the paper. You'd get some ribbon. You get all kinds of fun things in there, and you get some really beautiful designs. So if you don't know what the Feels Like Frost is, it's this paper here. It's this guy here that we did from the Make and Take. So keep an eye out. I will post that, and I think it's going to end October 5th is the last day you can register. So I wish I had been just a bit quicker, but with our open house this weekend, which was a fantastic time, I just have been a little bit busy. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have a great evening and that you might try a project like this. You might try some of these things with the blends. What do you think you might use more? Would you use your blends and your color lifter, or would you use your shimmery crystal effects? So thanks very much. We'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.